Okay, it's 6:15. We'll call the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Todd Spaeth,
Here.
John,
Here.
Emma,
Here.
Mark Kirking,
Here.
and Tanya. Here.
Okay, first period for public comment. Looking good. Okay. Need approval for the committee minutes from 12/9/25.
Todd, I'll approve the minutes.
John, I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Payment of the bills.
Okay, this is the time of year where we have both 2026 bills and 2025 bills, so they're kind of a little bit combined. Most of the ones, actually, all of the ones that are on the original bills are 2026. So you're going to see a lot of the renewals on different dues and things like that. So we do have in there the tax settlement for what was collected in December. So the advanced tax collections there, the almost $1.2 million will be going out the door to the different entities, Vernon County, the schools, and the tech college. Also under the general property taxes there, you're going to see that $14,000 bill. That is for the airport hangars. They changed it after personal property went away last year, where we get one bill for all of the airport hangars, and then we have to turn around and send bills out individually to each of the airport hangars. So when they come in, that will offset by those tax payments. The tax over collection, that is what we use as an in and out, because sometimes people will come in and they will pay their tax bill, not realizing that their escrow, that their bank is paying for them, so they've paid twice now. So our only option that we have is to deposit that check and then turn around and pay us the portion that's not the overpayment, and then return the portion that was the overpayment. So that's, we kind of use that account as an in and out. On page 2, you're going to see we're paying the first installment for our assessor this year in 2026. Also dabbled in throughout here is the social media archiving subscription for the year of 2026, and that's being distributed to multiple departments. The Humane Society contract on page 3, that one is also for 2026. We had on page 4, we had our bulk salt that was delivered. So that $24,811.77 is for that. And then we also on page 5, we have a bond payment for the 2021A that is due at the end of this month. So that is the payment for that that's going out. And then we also have a payment for the landfill gas migration to TRC.
Okay.
Questions on any of those?
Nope.
In the additional bills, you're going to see a lot of stuff. This has got a little bit of 25 and 26 dabbled together. So when you see that it shows the amount is paid, we have those bills cut as the checks, but they're not sent out yet until they're finally approved. It's just a different way we have to do it in our system. So you're going to see in at the end of the year, each year we look at our who has got over the amount of their sick leave. And so you're going to see throughout here, the additional contribution, if it's over the maximum, it gets paid into the retirement system. So we have some that's in the water and sewer. We have some in the police department, myself, dispatch. So they're kind of dabbled throughout here, and that gets sent in as an additional contribution for those that are over the 1,040 hours on the city side of things and 1,080 hours on the police officers. We also are paying for that tax collection software, which is a new system that we have this year. So that's the $500 at the bottom of page 1. The server replacement, I don't know, Nate, on page 2, if you want to talk about that at all.
No, just as a reminder, at the end of 2025, you had authorized a series of IT purchases as capital projects to use debt proceeds. And so on here, you'll see both a server replacement for City Hall and the server replacement for the PD. We were very fortunate and thankful to MCS Networks for being able to produce those servers under budget of what they quoted us, because there was some real concern with how much processing chips and other IT equipment is being gobbled up on the market, mostly from data centers, that was really going to throw our number off. But fortunately, they were able to work out a deal with their supplier, and that's all gravy. So they will be installed. Ours at least will be installed on Friday, and I think Rick's is getting to a point. So.
Okay, then moving forward to on page 4, the fire department and the snowplow. Did you want to explain that one, or Chad? If he's-
Yeah, so Chad, if you want to help me out here, essentially what's happened is with the new fire station, they're trying to get a grips on how to most efficiently plow that area of parking lot in an efficient manner. And there's been some sort of, I guess, try on error between the street department and the park and rec department trying to figure it out. And what you see on here with that snowplow is essentially the best solution that we came up with. And Chad, if you want to go ahead and talk through that.
So yeah, a lot of it has to do with there's too much to plow with not enough equipment. Long story short, a lot of discussion was had between streets, parks, Nate and Justin to remedy what that could look like. And so one of the options is we've got brush trucks and we've got a truck. We didn't have a plow. And so putting a plow on our brush truck does multiple things. One is if it snows a lot, one pickup truck that the Parks and Rec has it takes them forever to get it plowed. So a couple different options. One is a firefighter can help with a second plow truck, or Kayla and I have talked that they usually have 2 guys. So now they could have 2 trucks, do it as, faster and half the time or whatever. So there's that piece, but then the other piece is in between snows and in between the time that they're there and come and go, and doing other parking lots and things like that. We can clean up, or we can push back, or we can tidy up things as we need. One of the snow events that the wind was blowing or whatever, and they'd gotten done and snow blew across or whatever, and the firefighters are showing up, running through ice, running through snow piles, things like that or whatever. Couple options. One is we can try and call Parks and Rec back in over time, things like that, to come and move the snow. It's all about timing, right? Or we can hop in a truck now, we can move the snow out of the way, we're done, and move on to the next thing. So we felt like there was multiple benefits to this. Long term, we did look at what it could look like to have, hire it done, and that just was insane. Anybody that's ever dealt with that, it's within a year, the plow will be paid for alone. So, and then one other thing too is over time, we have had some incidents where we've needed to move some snow on a call. This isn't a high priority one, but I'll just mention it. There has been a few times over the years where a member of the fire department has had a plow on their vehicle, and they've actually plowed us to the call. Not all the way, but driveway, long driveway, things like that. So I won't get in the weeds with that, but there are a few benefits that way too. So we felt that it made sense. We already had the truck. Get the plow on there. It helps support what Parks and Rec needs to do for us. And it also gives us options to help assist and when we can and not rack up overtime and things like that. So, unique, right? You got your firefighters coming and going. It's an emergency type situation. Usually we got to have really good, clean parking lot. We can't have them slipping and falling. We can't have, issues getting the trucks in and out of the station. And so we felt that this was a good use of some funds that didn't get spent on some things that we didn't get to. And we talked about that a meeting ago or whatever, of struggling with just too much going on or whatever. So Nate, does that make sense?
So these are coming out of 2025
Correct.
as well.
Chad, did you say, maybe I missed it, why it's not in the shared town system?
We talked about it. I talked to Justin about it. We felt that it probably wasn't a good idea to bend them over and push them hard. To ask for them to contribute to that. I don't know, Justin, do you have anything to add to that?
Sure. I think, as Chad said, I think it's primarily going to be used in the city for city purposes, right? It's not out in the township doing that kind of stuff hardly ever. And I just felt like when we talked, it made sense to just have it come from the funds that it was at, rather than trying to get the townships to try to contribute a portion of something they may likely never use. So that was the idea behind it.
Okay, I understand that, but I also understand that the townships benefit when the trucks can get out to help them as well.
Right. And we've never billed them for snow in the past. I mean, that's just been part of what they pay, and it's part of it. So
Okay.
having this additional piece of equipment continues to provide the same level of service essentially they've always had. It's just on a bigger property, just needs a little more help.
Okay.
I would agree with you, Tanya. I think overall, there's probably future conversations that can be had with the townships as that relationship continues to strengthen. I just think the timing of needing to get this done and the fact that we're at the 2025 and we had funds left, a considerable amount of funds left unspent, just kind of put us in this position of like, we can do this, we can make it happen, and probably not, we didn't have the time to really have a good discussion with the townships around this, but I think it could be noted, and hopefully they acknowledge that we're continuing to invest in the fire station in that way.
And I agree with what you just said, Nate, and obviously what the mayor said. So we're slowly working on growing that relationship and, you know, bringing them in, the whole fire station piece and how they contributed and things like that. It's a work in progress. I want to be careful that I don't push too hard and expect too much. Whole long discussion that we could have on that and how the call volumes and, you know, different things like that, who's benefiting more, this, that, whatever, and not probably the time or place to get into that kind of detail, but it was talked about, was thought about. It's harder to get them to agree on something because there's, instead of one entity, you're talking four, right? And so looking at all of those avenues, it's like, it made sense, you know. Hopefully that answers it for now. So.
Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to point out on page 4 is that we paid Keller actually yesterday for the pay request that you guys approved back in December. The amount did change, so I just wanted to note that it actually went down from the amount that was originally approved because we had to hold back a bigger contingency. Did you want to explain that? But it was, we had approved like 1,014,365.18, and it was actually only the 1,003,864.96. And USDA has already approved that, and we should have actually those funds in the bank tomorrow. So that's all I had to point out, unless anybody's got questions.
Okay. None by me.
This is Tanya. I'll make a motion to pass the bills on to council for payment.
Pat will second it.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
John,
Aye.
Emma,
Aye.
Todd Kirking,
Aye.
Tanya,
Aye.
and Todd Spath.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Second period for public comment.
Looks like you're good, Todd.
Okay, adjournment then.
Todd will make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Okay. Meeting.
Nate, is this the same link for our other meeting or no?
Can you say that again, Emma?
Is this the same link for our common council or no?
No, every agenda has a different link. So you'll have
Okay.
to pop in and pop out.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Bye.